My name is Ryne Jacobs, and I'm a sudden cardiac arrest survivor.
Ryne Jacobs looked like the picture of health in January 2021.
If you looked at him, you would think he was in phenomenal physical condition.
Athletic and avid swimmer since the age of 10, it was his first day of tennis practice at Baker County High School when the then 17-year-old almost died.
My husband called and said Ryne had collapsed on the tennis courts, and to get to the high school as soon as possible. I was very close.
There's not much I remember about that day. It's mostly just a blur.
For his coach, Steve Delisle, it's a day he'll never forget.
That day, the National Federation of High Schools requires us to do video training on sudden cardiac arrest, heat stroke, and concussion. And that day we had just completed those 3 trainings before we went out to the tennis courts.
It's something he had trained for years, but this would be the first time he'd have to use it.
Ryne just looked a little out of it. I stayed close because he just didn't look right. The next thing I know, I'm standing there talking to him and a couple of the other players, and he kind of falls against the fence, and then he just starts to slump, and I caught him.
He immediately started CPR, which saved Ryne's life.
I don't know, everybody wants to say, you were a hero, you did this, you did that, and it was like, no, I just did what I felt like I was trained to do.
Johnny Jacobs, the principal of Baker County High, and his wife Heather rushed to their son's side.
He was in the ambulance, and that's when the paramedics said that it was not good. His heart was not beating.
Ryne suffered a sudden cardiac arrest on the tennis courts, something 9 out of 10 people don't survive. He was life-flighted to Wolfson Children's Hospital.
Landing at Wolfson's, he went to sudden cardiac arrest again.
And that's not all. During the whole ordeal, he also suffered a stroke.
For him to survive and him to be doing as great as he is now, it's nothing short of miraculous. There's divine intervention there.
Ryne was diagnosed with a genetic heart condition known as ARVC, a condition that Jacobs say an electrocardiogram could have helped detect.
It could have picked up his irregular heartbeats.
One of his brothers has since been diagnosed with the same heart condition.
The more you know, the more educated you can be, the more you can be prepared. I never thought I would be in this position, and I'm grateful that my son is alive.
Now 21, Ryne can't do a lot of the physical activities he once loved to do because of his heart condition. But he says he's just grateful to be alive. What do you want people to take away from your story?
Just want people to know that, it can happen to all ages, from 80 years old to 2. It can happen to anyone at any time.
It happened. He wasn't under a tremendous amount of stress. He wasn't swimming laps in the pool. He was just batting a tennis ball back and forth and getting used to using a racket. And then he was down. If there's anything that someone can do to avoid things like that, why would you not?